All right, we're doing a quick review on firewalls and snort rules. All right, we're going to start with snort rules first. The most important thing that you're going to want to know for writing your snort rules is that header at first, right? And so what's important for your header is each of these columns right here, right? You're going to have a rule action.
Yeah, you're not sharing your screen.
I am not sharing my screen. Sharing my screen. Oh, well, I'll share my screen now. Okay, cool. So we'll have a rule action, right? What we're going to do when we trigger this alert, this snort, this detection, we're going to have what protocol we're using, right? We have the whole 5 tuple there, right? Sources, which direction we're flowing in traffic. Again, generally, we're going to be going from left to right, but you can also go both directions. And you'll finally have your destination IP, destination port, and your options, right? The options will be, a human-generated message for whoever is getting the alert, as well as, other kinds of options. So what type of rule actions can we have? Well, we have alert, we have log, right? These are the 2 big ones that I need you to be familiar with. One snort rule will trigger an alert for you to look at. The other one will just log things, okay? Protocols we can be using, again, these are the same as firewalls, right? TCP, UDP, IP, and ICMP. These are the big ones. Okay. That's what protocol we're talking about when we're talking about sorts. Next up, source IP, source IP address. You can put them in different ways, right? If you want to grab a whole subnet, there, grab that whole /24 subnet, right? You want to grab a 16 sub? You want to get a specific IP address? Sure. You want everything except that IP address? Go ahead. You put a bang in front. You can look at it. Cool. So you get your source IP address. Source ports, go ahead. You want to find everything going to 80? You could use any. You could be specific. You don't have to be specific. Try and be as specific as possible. But you'll also know that you have the keyword any, and sometimes you do have to use any. Okay. Flow, we talk about which direction we're going from. Again, since we have sources on the left and destinations on the right, it makes it very easy to just make it one direction. So you'll get an arrow. If you want to make it bi-directional, we have double arrow. If you want to make it go from right to left, no, sorry, not allowed. We just don't go that way. We only go from left to right. Make it easy for us. Okay, for destination IP, it's the same sort of format as source, right? Same thing for port. And then for your output messages, again, you're going to get something like this. I'm not going to require you. You won't be required to write any sort of options like that, right? But again, what you can expect, you'll expect a message. You expect a SID. Okay. So that's what you can expect as far as snort. As far as questions, you'll get like a network map. I'll tell you, I want you to write a snort rule that will capture traffic going from A to B. And you're going to write the rule for it. You have to, tell me, is it going to be alert? Is it going to be log? Is it going to be what protocol we're using? Tell me the source IPs. Tell me what ports. Give me the destination IPs. Give me the destination ports. That's the type of question I'm going to ask you. You got to look at whatever network map I give you to answer it. Okay. All right. Moving over to firewalls and IP tables, right? What do we do? If I want to write a firewall rule to block all connections from the IP address 10.10.10.10, what do I write? I'll start this one. Sudo IP tables. What do I put next?
Capital I.
Close. But I do want to dash capital something.
Capital A.
Yep. Capital A and what?
Input.
Hell yeah. Capital A input, right? We're talking anything that's coming in. Then what?
You can do -S for source.
Mm-hmm.
Then that IP.
There you go. There's the source IP. And what do we want to do with this traffic?
Drop it.
Drop.
-J drop. Cool. There you go. Don't want you to overthink it, right? Just think, what do we need to do? Make these IP tables rules. Take everything that's coming in from 10.10.10.10, drop it. Let's do another one. We block all of the IP addresses in this entire network range. I'll start IP tables, pseudo IP tables. What do we do? What's next? Come on, you did it before.
Dash capital A.
Yeah, it's capital A input. And then
Can you not just do the IP address /24?
yeah, you can. I think you have to add, I'm not sure if you actually have to add -s. I think you do. But yeah, -s, there you go. There's the IP address. You can add it with the cider notation, that slash notation. And then what do we want to do with all this traffic?
-J drop.
-J drop. Drop it all, right? Don't overthink it, guys. Don't overthink it. We're inputting a new rule. For everything from this source, we drop.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Would we have to use IP tables specifically, or we can use UFW too?
Great question. I want you to be familiar with both. And oh, do I have UFW on this slide deck? I think I do. I also have UFW. Also, this bottom answer is acceptable. If you don't want to do /24, you can do I think it needs to be dash actually to get the 255, 255, 255. But that'll also be acceptable. I got another firewall rule. We'll do IP tables on this. I think I have UFW coming up soon. So good question, MD. Here we go. Make this a little bit more complicated. I want to block SSH connections from 10.10.10.10. I will start this with pseudo IP tables, and I'll give you that. Now what?
-P SSH.
Close. Close.
P22.
So we'll do -P to say that we're going to use a TCP port.
Dash is a D port.
There we go. All right. I'll give it to you. -D
SSH.
port. You could either give it SSH and it'll do the default, or you give it the number itself if you like. Both are fine. All right. What comes next?
-S address.
Oh, and then what do we do with it?
-J drop.
Boom. Look at you guys. Absolute killers here. Right. Here you go. These are the types of questions I'm going to give you. These are the types of answers you're going to have to put in. All right. Then just for MD here, use some firewall rules with UFW. Okay. I want to block all network connections that originate from this IP address. Very similar to what we did before, right? We have an IP address, want to block all traffic from it. How do we do it with UFW? The uncomplicated firewall, the easier way to do it, right? Again, sudo UFW. What do we want to do? We want to deny from that. Wow, much easier. Okay, so for UFW, you do UFW, what you want to do with it, deny or allow. You say either from where. All right, it's a little harder one. Block connections for this IP address to a specific interface. So kind of like what we were doing just before. Okay, sudo UFW. What are we doing? We're not allowing, we're denying, right? On a particular adapter. So in on ETH0. Where? From there. Okay. This is how you would write it in UFW. Again, this will be open book test. So if you don't remember the specific syntax, you can look things up. But I will expect that you'll be able to do something like this. Okay. Got another one. Allow all incoming SSH connections with UFW. I'll start sudo UFW. What are we saying next?
Allow.
Hey. And what are we allowing?
SSH.
Oh. There you go. That's how you'd write that rule in UFW. Uncomplicated, isn't it? Also, You can do that. Oops, there you go. Also, you can do that.
Hey, Matt,
Yep.
if we answer these questions without using pseudo, will it
Be fine.
more
I won't. Yeah,
incorrect?
it's fine. It's fine if you answer it without pseudo.
Okay.
It's fine if you answer without pseudo. I won't take off anything for that. Okay, I think I have other things here on this slide deck, but I want to save those for. I don't think we want to talk too much about these yet. Do I want to talk about regulations yet? Maybe something we should be at least familiar with, right? Healthcare. I want you to know HIPAA. Credit cards, debit cards, PCI DSS. Okay. SOX, any publicly traded companies, right? That's Sarbanes-Oxley. And any financial institutions you should be familiar with, Graham-Leach-Bliley. For education, right? Stuff like full stack, FERPA. Not as much fun to memorize these, but you gotta know. Right. The other stuff we'll come back to by the midterm. But that's my quick review for firewalls and snort rules. Those are very similar to the types of questions you'll be asked, right? Just kind of give you an example of what we want, and then you'll fill in the blanks. It'll literally be blanks where you can fill in, allow, deny, from, whatever. Right. Cool. Does that assuage anybody's concerns? Or does that make people more nervous? I don't know. Pollution's okay with it. All right. That's good. As long as Pollution's okay with it. All right. I'm sharing my screen still. Let us go. And again, I know we started doing undercover, but I want to do it, go through it kind of quickly, like speed run of it, so you can see what it's like. This will be similar to the scenario that you'll get in terms of getting a PCAP, getting a situation given to you, like, here's what's happening. And then doing some digging. You'll get also some guided questions that will help you along the way. So let's take a look. I think it was in defense in depth, right? This one. Scenario 1 you want to go through, and specifically like this scenario right here, where you're going to get guided questions kind of like this. You can expect like that. Okay. You're going to get a PCAP, maybe some other files too, whatever you need. So I actually just, I had to revert my machine. I don't know if I even have any of the old files.
Will you require, on a question like that, will you require that we use a particular tool, or could we choose the tool?
You can use whatever tools you like for any of these problems from now on. I will recommend Wireshark for your packet analysis. And I'm trying to think if there's any other tools I would strongly recommend, but I think that that's probably one that you have to use. You'll have to use a bit of Wireshark for the PCAP analysis. Anything else?
Could
It's up to you.
Could you pull up those regulations real quick again? I just wanted to screenshot them if possible.
Mhm.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Oops, I didn't want that to go up. You stay down. You go
Leave it up for at least 5 seconds.
Leave it up for 5 seconds. All right, hold on here. I'll even make it. And healthcare. Or I could have just taken a screenshot for you, but there you go.
Thank you very much.
Of course. Of course. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at this PCAP now. Let me grab it. I didn't, oops. Let me share my screen. We'll go through this one kind of quickly because I think we started it earlier. And I had to revert my machine because things got broken. Which is why you should always keep a snapshot. Let's say wget that. Cool. Tar XVF evidence and Wireshark evidence. Okay. The way I recommend that you go through this is you'll get these questions. use whichever tool you're comfortable with. I'm just going to use a Google Doc instead of putting it into a text document here, just because this is a little bit easier, and I could put in screenshots if I wanted to. Just do things like this. The other thing I recommend you do for most of these questions is answer in this format of answer, right? Direct answer, and where your evidence, right? Your how did, or what did you type into Wireshark? What did you type into Wireshark to see this? And then the reasoning, which is your explanation. Reasoning. Right. Cool. We'll go through these real quick. I'll show you how to do it, what you can expect. Okay, so we're looking for Anne's email address. And how did we do this before? I know we did it before. I think the easiest thing to do was to quickly use the find packet, right? This magnifying glass right here. Before I even walk through that, the important things I want you to be aware of and look right away when you're using Wireshark. Statistics, conversations. Sometimes taking a look here will give you that bird's eye view of what's going on. Apologize, I can't make the image text a little bit larger, but where you're going to be wanting to look is under IPv4. So you could look at them as IPv4 addresses and take a look at who's talking to each other, right? Take a look at how many packets are being sent, how many bytes are being sent, where are the major conversations happening between who and who, right? I see a lot of bytes, 314K between 142 and 159. Potentially something to look at. Okay, so be aware of that. The other thing, right? Your other go-to is this magnifying glass here for searching. It opens up that search bar. Above this search bar, you have the display filter. This display filter filters what is displayed. Oh man, you can't see my face when I do that, but so that filters what you see inside this big chart right here in the center. Okay, don't confuse that with a capture filter, right? A capture filter is when you're actually capturing traffic and you're deciding what we're going to save. A display filter is we've already saved the PCAP. This is only what we're going to show you. So be aware of that. Okay, so we have this search bar right here. Things you can search. You can either search by display filter, hex value, or string. I'm going to search by string. And the other thing you want to make sure that you can pay attention to is under this area right here, packet details. You have packet list, details, and bytes. And those align with each of these three sections. Right here, this area right here in the middle, or top, I should say, is the packet list. This area right here are the packet details. And this area at the bottom are the packet bytes. Me, personally, I find the packet bytes to be usually the least helpful. Sometimes they are helpful. Okay. So again, let's go to this question. What's Anne's email address? And let's look at here. All right. Things we might look for, SMTP. Maybe you'll use a display filter and search for SMTP to look for all of the mail that was traveling through here, right? Maybe you were looking specifically just for the name Anne. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really care how you find it, but I want you to find the name of it. Anyway, we're going to go here. We're going to follow this stream because you all were able to find this before. And I think what the question was is what's her email address? Oh, goosh. And the email address we found was here. sneakygeek@aol.com. So how would I answer this question? I'll go over here. Oops. Put my answer in there, right? That's the first part. That's worth like 1 point. Evidence. Here we go. Copy. Here we go. If you literally give me this, that's enough evidence for me. If you want to be more specific, if I give you a lot of files, you could tell me the specific file name, right? If there were multiple files or multiple PCAPs. But generally, I'm looking for something like that. I'm looking for something I could type that will show me what you saw. Okay. And the reasoning here, right? This is where you actually have to do some kind of analysis and say, this was signed from undercover. There's an email signed from undercover, something like that. right? This, oops, can I not type? This stream contains an email from Anne's laptop and signed by Anne Undercover. Undercover, something like that, right? That'll be full credit for that question. Cool. Questions on the question or how to answer it?
So can you get like partial credit for not fully answering? For like, for instance, in the reasoning, if you don't like give a full answer in your reasoning, will you get some kind of partial credit, or
Yes.
do you? Okay.
Yes, there's going to be some kind of partial credit. I will say you get most of the credit for the reasoning and the least amount of credit for your answer, which I guess makes sense, right? Because I want your process, not you just to be able to answer it. And yes, there's partial credit for your reasoning. Makes sense. Okay. All right. And email password. I think we found this earlier. If we if we follow this stream, we see she authenticates at this area. I'm just going to copy this and put it in CyberChef real fast. I got to base 64 it by now. Oh, well. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And base 64. Awesome. This is why encoding is not the same as encryption. Whoa, look at that difference. All right, so we got sneakygeekaol.com. Here's her password, 558 rules. Oops, yeah, copy that. Paste it here. We have our answer. Oops, typing's hard today. All right, evidence. Again, I would literally take TCP stream equals 0. That's fine. You want to give more? You want to be more specific? We could say, can I find the specific packet? We could say packet number 66. We could say at time number this, right? If you want to be as specific as possible. I think just giving me the stream number is fine. Right. And then your reasoning. Within this stream, you can see some base 64 authentication for the account. What was it? sneakygeek@aol.com. If you want to, you can put a screenshot of literally this as well. Right? Like I would say like a screenshot of this and then a screenshot of it being base 64 decoded if you want to do that. Otherwise, this is fine. Okay. All right. Answer evidence reasoning. Jeez. So we're looking for Anne's secret lover's email address. What was it? How do we find it?
If you go into those emails and you continue through the stream, you can, I think it's like 2 or 3 in that you find an email from him.
All right, so here's stream 0. Let's look at stream 1. Follow this one. Again, I see SMTP traffic coming through. Let's follow. Okay, and laptop. Again, login.
I actually just use the stream to the lower right of this screen here. If you go down to the lower right stream, and you can just, yeah, super fast to go through that way.
Yeah, you can do that too. I forgot about that one. I was looking for that earlier and I couldn't find it, but whatever. So yeah, we could go up, check up the next stream. We find this over here. We find, you'll scroll through, you'll see that there's another email being sent from Undercover to, well, MrSecretX@AOL.com about a rendezvous. Right, so this is very likely to be Anne's secret lover, but right, that's not enough evidence yet. Just sending an email to someone who has a kind of creepy name is not enough evidence of them being the secret lover. The evidence here is actually one, calls him sweetheart, and signs it love. Right, that is the detective part here that makes me say, hey, that's the secret lover. So if we answer the question, it's what's the email address? Okay, the email address was, what was it? Mr. X or whatever. Mr. Secret X at AOL.com. Sure. Evidence, go ahead, give me the stream. I can follow it. And reasoning. In
How will you
stream.
know though that we're using Wireshark? I mean,
How will I know? I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna check. I'm not gonna be able to. I'm not gonna be watching over you. So if you want to use someone else, something else, go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the way you're, is it only Wireshark that uses that particular sort of format when you're doing the filters, or is there another tool that might do it a similar way? That's why I'm asking.
No, the stream should be labeled. The stream should be labeled. But what tool are you thinking of using, by the way? How about we work out it this way?
I'm gonna use Wireshark, but I'm just thinking. I mean, how, I don't want to make assumptions as well and then get penalized.
That's fair. You won't be penalized. You won't be penalized if you get me these answers. So if you show me a different, like if you're using a different tool, I don't know. If you show me some other tool to be able to look at something, and I can read that email that sees, right? So here's the reasoning. Stream has the email signed with love by Anne. And what was the other thing? And what was it? What did she say?
Hi, sweetheart.
Yeah, hi, sweetheart. There it is. Signed with love and says hi, sweetheart. And says hi, sweetheart. Right. So if you're able to show me somehow, right, like how you saw this, that's evidence for me. Right. I don't want to say you have to get married to Wireshark. I'm just going to say that Wireshark's probably the tool you want to use for this PCAP analysis. Okay. Here we go. What two items did Anne's secret lover tell her to bring? Again, this is going to be into the same area of evidence, right? So that's fine. TCP stream 1. I'll do answer, evidence, reasoning. There's the evidence. The answer itself was it swimsuit and passport. Bring your fake passport and bathing suit. Oops. Oh yeah, there we go. There's your evidence. There's your reasoning. I'm okay with you saying it literally says like something like in the email. You could just say, you could even quote it, right? Because it's pretty clear here what the answer is, but you want to fill it out. Name of the attachment by her secret lover. So this is the part where I think people started to maybe not struggle, but we're like, hey, how do I do this? Because it's not super clear of how to carve out an attachment from a PCAP. There are a couple of different ways you can do it. I've seen people in the past find a script online someone wrote to carve out email attachments from PCAPs. That's one way. Alternatively, you can do what we've did before, where we found the attachment. What is it? Is it here? Or is it in the first email? Yeah, we found this attachment, the secret rendezvous.docx. We carved it out of here. How did we carve it out? I forgot exactly how. We grabbed it all, grabbed it to a file, base64 decoded it, and we're able to get the document right like that. Did anyone do it a different way?
I used a hex editor, and then I cut before OA and after, OAOD and after ODOA.
Okay, what gave you the way to do it that way? Because that's totally a valid way.
I Googled it a bunch, and then they said that there was a hex editor that helps you take out exactly the stuff that I needed, the bytes, but I don't know, explain it better than that. And then just carve it out to that and then docx file. That's
great. That is absolutely a way you can do it, right? So he's just literally carving out the information that he needed with a hex editor. And you can Google how to do that. I'm going to do it this way that we did before. Was there anything in TCP Stream 0? I just want to see this real quick.
I remember OA and OD was where the docx file header started and where the docx file header ended, but you had to look up docx also.
There it is. Yes. Okay. So this touches on another thing of like, how do files know, like when you run the command file and it's like checking files to determine what type it is, how does it know what type it is? All right. Like, how do you know what type of files a file is? Do you guys know? You have any ideas? Maybe did say it.
It was in the email. It said like what was attached or something zipped.
That's true.
Docx file.
That's true. But if you didn't know, like, how does file know something's a docx file? Like, what if I rename it so it's just like file? Right? Like when I do this, All right, when I'm just like cd scrap, and I say file hello. Right? How did this know that it was ASCII text? Didn't have a dot text at the end of this.
Because of the contents.
Yes. So did it need to read the entire file though to know that it was ASCII? The answer is no. So we will look into this a little bit, especially next Monday when we talk digital forensics. But essentially there are bytes at the beginning of a file that kind of act as a signature. So what AB was saying was he had to look for these specific bytes that say this is the start of this type of file. So whatever hex value it was, this is saying this is the start of a docx file. And then there's probably some bytes at the end that say this is where the docx file ends. Right? So at the start of this hello file, there's some bytes that say this is an ASCII text file when I created it. Okay, cool. So this is one way we can carve out that thing. I want to look through this again and pull this out. How did I do this last time? I feel like I just, I know. One thing you could try is export objects. Sometimes this works. Yeah, you could look at the different things that you can export here. File. Export, see if there's anything on HTTP. Was not. Right. SMB. Nope. So we don't get anything this way. HTTP. No. So instead, let's go to stream number 1 and actually get this file out. So let's grab this. I don't love doing it this way. This is just the way I know how to do it quickly. I'd rather use a program to do this. And all right, let's put this into a file. Some file. Sure. Basics cat some file base64 and put that into undecoded file. Sure. File undecoded. Right. Cool. We've successfully carved out the file from the PCAP. Questions? Quick questions on that? I don't think it's super bananas, but
I was trying to do it like that, but I ran into a problem. I couldn't get the spaces from the files in between them, like the new lines. So like in the whole code, there's like new lines in between each.
Let me see. So if we do like a head -n20 some file. So let me see if this looks like this. Did yours look like this?
No.
No. So the hard part is sometimes just getting it out of this PCAP. I think that's probably the literally most challenging part. Sometimes it's really big, and like I know that your clipboard sometimes won't take it as much. Like it won't just grab all as much, so you can paste it into a file. I'll tell you, you won't be expected to be doing any manual carving for the exam. We will be doing some carving on Monday, though. So as long as you're able to follow what I did, you're good. I'm not going to ask you to do this. Okay. Cool.
I was actually able to take the carve out from the PCAP and put it into CyberChef, decoded it, and then CyberChef said it was a zip file. Just unzipped it in CyberChef, and you're able to see the image from there.
Yep. You do that there. So you'll find that there's a bunch of different tools you can kind of use to hack your way around it. You'll also start to realize like those docx files are just archives of several things. You'll see XML, you'll see the images, right? Like that's how those things actually get created. So yes, you can do it with CyberChef. You paste that in there. I'm actually curious because I never did it that way. Let's do it that way. So you literally pasted this in there. And then from, okay, yeah, so there's the from base 64. And how did you just downloaded it? Oh, it looks like it says XML.
There's a recipe for unzip.
Oh, you add unzip onto this? Unzip.
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty sexy.
And then one of them is a PNG file.
Cool.
Then you could download that and then hash it. I didn't try this, but you probably could just move that file up to the input and hash it that way to answer the.
Yeah, let's try that. Let's try that. Which one was it? This image one. Could I paste that there? Oh, that might mess it up. Maybe open up another one. Either way, I'll play around with this. That's pretty cool. I didn't know you could do it this way. Absolutely. I'll do it this way. All right. So we have it. We have that. Where did we call it? With my terrible names here. All right. Undecoded file. Oh, that's way too big. Go here. Move undecoded file to what did we call it? Secret docx. Docx, something like that. Whatever. At least I know what it says now. And then I like this xdg-open tool. This is equivalent to open with whatever the default is. You can do xdg-open. What did I call it? Secret. Why can't you open this? Archive type is not supported. Do I have to do file? It says it's a docx. Why can't I open you?
See if you use Abby Word.
Abby Word?
Yeah, ABI Word. I use that.
ABI Word. I don't think I have it installed. Maybe I do. Let's see.
Or just open it up with the archive manager, and there is
I thought it was XCG. Whatever. Let's see. File manager. I double click it. Should just open default. Root or scrap. Scrap. I don't know why it's not supported.
Okay. Oh.
That's why I think I installed Abby Word because of that reason. I tried to open it through the file manager and I couldn't.
The other one I use is LibreOffice.
Yeah.
All right,
I was able to open it up in the archive manager for some. I don't know. It worked for me.
Yeah, it worked for me last time as well. Well, let's do it this way then. We'll do it live, right? Let's do it live this way. First, let's make sure we're answering the question. The question is, what's the name of the attachment and sent to her secret lover? Okay, and the attachment was, we had the name for it. Oop. Scroll to the top. All right, let's answer the question before we get ahead of ourselves. The answer was secret rendezvous.docx. What's the name of the attachment? That's the attachment. The evidence, again, you can still use it, tcp.stream equals 1. That's fine. And your reasoning, this is the name of the attachment on the file. Not much more than that. Okay. MD5 sum of this attachment. Well, here we unzipped it. Can I just MD5 it here? There we go. Here's the MD5. So for a question like this, I don't need any evidence or reasoning, right? It's a pretty straightforward, what's the MD5 sum of it? So, you know, you can say what the file was that you hashed, but I don't have a, you know, we can leave these blank. I accept it. Right. What city and country? Let's see if we can look at it inside here. I don't know if CyberChef can show you images. I know I can embed images here, but
Yes, yeah, you can see it.
you can see them?
Yep.
I open it like that. How do I do it?
Shoot, I forget. I think it's do a search under operations for images.
For images? Extract EXIF. That doesn't sound like what I want. Maybe just image. Contains image. No. Generate image. That's pixel values. I don't think so. I didn't even know there were this many image options with the. Anyway, I want to see this. Can I open a new tab? No.
You just download it.
You can just download it. That's the next step. Let's just download this whole thing.
I forgot before it showed up.
Open with Firefox? Sure. If you open with Firefox. Okay.
That works with the image. You can.
That works with the image.
Do that exact step with just the image.
All right, let's do that. I clicked this. Open with Firefox. Hey, there we go. All right. Technology. We got our answer, right? We are talking Playa del Carmen in Mexico, right there. So that's the answer. What city? Playa del Carmen in Mexico. Evidence, right? I would, for this one, I would give the file. So whatever this word media image 1.png, media image 1.png, whatever it is. And, you know, if you want to be more specific, you can get tcp.stream equals 1. If this were a real report and not like the exam, I would have that file attached to the report along with the hash of the file. And the reasoning, image to Playa del Carmen in the email, right? Pretty much says specifically where they're going. And then, oh, did I do this wrong? What's the MD5 sum of the image embedded? Here we go. We'll do it through CyberChef again. And I wonder how I can do this. Can I just take this image and hash it? I can download it and then hash that. So we'll do that.
That's what I did. I didn't try and put the image back into CyberChef to get the hash.
Yeah, that'd be handy, right? If I could just had like a second input to go through, but this seems easier to me, so I'm just going to do that. Okay, move download // downloads. What it is called? Word. Right, move that to here. And MD5 of, what did we call it? Word. Jeez, typing's hard today. There we go. Hash looks different. Size. Yeah, that's the same size. Okay, answer, evidence, reasoning. There, oops, there it is. Evidence, I don't need. Reasoning, I don't need. Right, I'm just asking for the hash here. And so this right here, this looks like full credit to me for this type of PCAP analysis. This is what I would expect for full credit. Kind of small, a little larger. Oops, I broke things.
would you mind posting this in Slack so that we can have it as reference?
No problem. Post that in Slack.